What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. I was looking in the comment section maybe about 30 minutes ago on a video uploaded about the Kings and Lakers from 2002, and I saw Prince Okeezy's comment about Lou Brock, and I had that same sinking feeling in my stomach, about this year. Lou Brock died today. For those of you who are younger, you may not know who that was. Those of you who are my age and definitely older than me, you will remember him. He was one of the big stars in Major League Baseball back in the 1970s. Legendary player, actually. He died today at the age of 81. His death was confirmed by CBS Sports. The cause of death was not officially given, but he had been battling a multiple array of ailments. He lost a leg in recent years to diabetes, and he was diagnosed 3 years ago with bone cancer. So he was a very, very sick man. And before I go even further, I'm also very concerned about another 1960s and 70s St. Louis Cardinals legend who has been very sick, and that is Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson has been battling heart disease and cancer. I believe he has advanced prostate cancer, and he is not doing very well either. So my best wishes to Bob Gibson and his family and friends and fans of his throughout the world. Lou Brock played a total of 19 seasons in Major League Baseball, most of them with the St. Louis Cardinals. And he was a 6-time All-Star in the Major Leagues. And he was known for being, at one point in time, the most prolific base stealer in Major League Baseball history. He broke a record back in 1977, which seemed unbreakable at that time, which was Ty Cobb's all-time steals record, which was at the time 892. That record, like Babe Ruth's home run record at one point in time, seemed unbreakable. But Lou Brock was, at his time, before Ricky Henderson eclipsed him, he was the most prolific base stealer in the history of Major League Baseball. He broke that record in 1977. And he finished with the all-time mark of 938, and he retired in 1979, and that record stood for 12 years until Ricky Henderson broke it in 1991. He also held the record for most stolen bases in a season, which I believe was 111, I think it was. I saw it earlier. I can't remember. I think it was 111 until, Ricky Henderson broke that as well. I think he broke it in 1982 with 130. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong about that 111. But Lou Brock was an exceptional all-around player, not just a base stealer. He could hit for average. He is the only member outside of Ricky Henderson. He is the only player other than Ricky Henderson to have 3,000 hits and at least 900 stolen bases. He is the franchise all-time leader in stolen bases for the Cardinals, and he's second to Stan Musial in plate appearances, runs, and hits. And he is, of course, a Hall of Famer. He is, in fact, the second Hall of Famer in Major League Baseball to pass away this week, the other being, of course, Tom Seaver. So Lou Brock, one of the greats, has passed away at the age of 81. It's just it's kind of hard for me to see this, man, because when I was growing up, right, most of these guys were pretty young men. You know, they were in their 40s, 50s. They weren't old men at all, but it just goes to show how much time has passed since the late 80s and early 90s. You know what I'm saying? These men who were once middle-aged are now elderly men suffering from the infirmities that normally happen when you reach a certain age, and they're leaving the scene. You know, I remember when I was a kid, that generation that was born at the turn of the 20th century, they were passing away. Those born in the 1900s, 19-teens. And now it's the next generation. It's those that were born, you know, around the Great Depression. Those individuals are now leaving the scene. And then another 20 years from now, it's going to be those who were born in the 1950s and 1960s. As hard as it is to believe. They were kids 20 years ago. They were athletes. But in another 20 or 30 years, that generation will be in their 70s and 80s. So, rest in peace, Lou Brock. And, you know, big loss for Major League Baseball. Tell me what you guys think.